Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm going to give you a quick overview of an inquiry-based lesson plan in Webquest for animal habitats. This is designed for a second grade classroom. You'll notice here on the first page, this is intended to be similar to a newsletter that the kids would be expected to review over the weekend or on Friday afternoon. It talks about the zoo visit that we did this week, as well as some of the habitats that we looked at. It talks about what we're going to do next week to kind of lay out the expectations. I've asked them to watch this video here, which is actually a read aloud of Welcome Home Bear, which is a story about a bear who decides to explore some other animal habitats of his friends. So this will kind of lay the groundwork for them. They're also asked to post a photo of their habitat to their Seesaw digital portfolio, as well as a sentence about the favorite thing about the place that they live. And then we'll be ready to kick off Monday discussing animal habitats. So if you want to go to, then you would go to the tasks page. On this page, it's just kind of a quick overview for the students of what's expected for this Webquest. First, they're going to be researching an animal with a partner. Second, once they've familiarized themselves with all of the information about the animal, they're going to complete a worksheet. And then finally, they're going to create a poster to share with the class that shows their animal habitat. Because this is a second grade lesson plan, I've had them do a lot of the research online and make that available to them, but for the actual final product, I've asked them to do that by hand because I feel like the movement is a good thing for them. But if you were doing this for a higher grade, or maybe you didn't feel like they needed movement because they had been doing plenty of stuff that didn't require that, you could also have them create some sort of a online presentation, or maybe a video or something like that that they could share with their class. So once they've looked at this kind of overview task, they can click on the process tab either here where I've linked it in the instructions, or they can even go over here to the menu and click on that as well. This will then give them a full listing of the processes that are involved in this Webquest. First, I've asked them to watch this video, Home Sweet Habitat. This will just be a review for them of what a habitat is and what's involved in an animal's habitat and why it's important for them to have a specific habitat. And then once they've finished that, they can actually start their research with their partner based on the animal that has been selected for them to research. They'll find resources both under informational resources, and then there'll be resources available in the classroom in the form of books and other items that they might be able to use. They'll also have the opportunity to go down to the library if that would be more beneficial. As they're researching, they're asked to take notes in their animal habitat research worksheet. You could have hard copies of these available, or I've also connected a Google Doc to this for them to complete. You could do a Google form. It kind of depends on how the child is best at researching. I know for me, I like to be able to write things while I'm looking stuff up on the computer. Some kids might want to be able to click back and forth. So giving them a couple different options to be able to do that is good. Once they've finished their research, then they're going to create a poster. I've given them, under the evaluation tab, a rubric that will also guide the expectations for not only the worksheet but the poster, so that they know exactly what's expected of them, and we'll look at that next. Once they've completed both the worksheet and the poster, they will post those to their Seesaw digital portfolio so that they have those for reference later and so that their parents can see them. And then lastly, on Friday, we will also present these to other students so that they can teach other students about the animal and the habitat that they learned about, as well as answer questions that the students might have. So let's go to the Information Resources tab. Here you'll see an image that shows not all of the books, but some of the books that would be available in the library for them, or in our classroom library. There's 3 different sections of links to different web pages that they might use for research. The first are mostly facts and videos that have some really good information for them. The second's games, so that they have some fun things to play that talk about habitats. And then this additional activities is kind of a stretch activity. This is actually designed for a 3rd to 5th grade classroom, but this not only has facts and information for them to research, but also has some extra worksheets that they could print out and activities that they could do. So for the kids that need a little bit more extra work to kind of push themselves, this is available for that. If you go to the next section, which is evaluation, this actually shows that rubric I was talking about that clearly identifies the expectations for the kids and what they need to achieve to either be at a beginning, developing, accomplished, or exemplary level. And then finally is the conclusion. This just congratulates them on a great job, reviews what they should have learned throughout this lesson, and thanks them for all of their hard work. And then the last tab that I have here is Notes to Teachers, which isn't really for the student, but just kind of clearly identifies what's involved in this lesson, the title, subjects that it covers, the grade level, the duration of the project, tools that they would use for technology, what prior knowledge is expected of the students before going into this lesson, the Colorado standards that are addressed, as well as the technology standards that it reaches, thinking objectives that should be expected of the kids throughout this lesson, a little idea about how you might apply that to other grades, and then some of the resources that I used. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Thank you very much for joining me.